Your tummy still hurt?
Stop it.
No, is it all right?
It's fine.
All right, I'm just checking out your tummy.
Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast that explores Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor with a tummy ache at Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jimmy Fowler, executive pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
I don't have a tummy ache, but
A little bit.
man, I don't know.
It's okay.
Pat and Deb and I went out for lunch together, and because some of the restaurants just defy the governor. They're like, you can't be open, and they're like, we're going to be open anyways.
And you went
Oh yeah,
to support
we go to all
what
of
they're
those.
doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And so we went there, and I had a steak sandwich, which was delicious. But
See, I go to the only one that's allowed to be open, Foxfire
oh, really? It's the only one.
and Noble House.
Yeah. Okay. There's that they're not allowed.
Mm.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I don't want. You know what? I'm not gonna say the rest of
Yeah.
them.
There's a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, but I think I ate too. I've been skipping lunch.
Yeah.
Not for any purpose. I've just been not going out and eating anything.
Yeah.
And
So is that
oh,
because
man.
is Jen shaming you?
No, she would never.
Has she been critiquing you in
Mm-mm.
your figure?
no.
Now that she's been.
Oh,
you know-
now that she, as opposed to when what?
No, like
When she was a
doing
dumpster
MMA?
fire of a person?
What?
You're like, now that she. First of all,
What?
Jen's always looked good.
No one said. I
yeah,
wasn't
you were
even
implying like,
no,
oh, this is fine.
I
Like,
was implying she's been doing the MMA,
Okay.
right?
So jujitsu, not MMA,
Okay,
but-
sorry, jujitsu, and she's been on a very healthy regimen.
Oh yeah, all the way around.
And
No, she's never like, just like when I was running and I was in really good shape, I never shamed her about not exercising.
Mm.
And she does not do that to me.
All right, well, man,
So there you go.
listen,
because I taught her how to do this.
how to do this. Okay,
how
well,
to be the one that excels.
Well, I was just trying to
No, I'm
support
skipping,
you.
I'm just skipping lunch because I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. You know what it's like. You've been crazy busy.
Yeah, crazy busy, but
Mhm.
at least I'll still have lunch at my desk.
Yeah, with your little salad. So
Um,
I'd rather have nothing.
see, all right, for a guy my size,
Yeah.
right, I'm typically about 1 to 2 meals a day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I definitely always have dinner. I got to have dinner. And then either I'll do breakfast and no lunch, or no breakfast and then I'll have lunch.
Why wouldn't you have 3 meals a day?
I don't know. I find well, you know what? This is exactly why
Okay.
I typically skip lunch,
Mhm.
or I'll do like a.
You just told me, like I said, I skipped, and you're like, I just got, even though I'm busy, I have lunch.
yeah, not all the time.
Okay.
But what if I do skip, I like to skip lunch
Mhm.
because then I do feel like bleh, like bloated or
Every time I see you having lunch at your place of employment, it's a
Mhm.
salad in a little Tupperware box.
you know that those greens kind of go through.
Are they? Do they move you?
They
it's
move
a very
me.
moving lunch.
It's a very moving lunch, and so yeah, I just gotta take care of business and go from there. But no, I'm sorry that your tummy hurts.
It
Like,
doesn't hurt. That's fine. I'm just a little.
well, no,
it's
I mean
been a few hours.
I did as you asked. I rubbed your tummy, and
Okay,
you're doing all right.
Thank you. No, it does help.
It's
It
good?
settles
Okay.
everything.
It's settled?
in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
It's not gurgling and like.
See, I like to rub it so that I'm moved.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I'll make it through a couple of podcasts, a couple of episodes here with you,
Mhm.
and then
This will be great.
Yeah. So we're back in the Catechism,
Yep.
the Baptist Catechism.
Yep.
But today we're looking at question 18 in life. You know it.
Oh, all right. Well, why don't you go ahead and read it?
It says, "What was the sin whereby our first parents fell from the estate wherein they were created?" In other words, what did they do? The sin whereby our first parents fell from the estate wherein they were created was their eating the forbidden fruit. Forbidden fruit.
Forbidden fruit.
Yeah. So,
Apple.
no, definitely not. The worst of all the fruits. And we've
Worst
talked
of
about
all.
that. We've talked about this.
Kiwi?
Likes the apple. Kiwi's good.
Yeah.
Kiwi's good.
I do like kiwi.
Kiwi. And I'll take any other fruit.
Than an apple?
Yeah.
Depends on the apple.
Apple's fine. But yeah, but okay, Honeycrisp is great. But
Yeah.
still, it's still an apple. It's the best apple can't compare to the best of any other fruit. Yeah. You know I'm right.
See, I really like mango, but I don't like how
I don't like mango.
dirty, like like juicy, like your hands get kind of sticky.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Is that
like
why you have people feed you?
That's
when you're
exactly
eating
why.
mangoes?
That's exactly why.
So whatever this fruit was, this was the problem, that they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And it's interesting because, we talk about Adam as our federal head. He was the one who represented us. Eve was the one who was deceived by the devil, at least explicitly, and was the first to eat. But it speaks of our parents together. The sin whereby our first parents fell from their estate, so they both sinned, was breaking this particular law. Now, Jimmy, where do we go in the Bible to read about this incident?
So Genesis 3, verses 1 to 7.
There they are. Would you like to read it?
Sure, I'll read it. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other beast of the field that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God actually say, 'You shall not eat of any tree in the garden?' And the woman said to the serpent, 'We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.' But the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.' So the woman saw the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise. She took of its fruit and ate, and she also gave some to her husband who was with her,
What a dummy.
and he ate. Then the eyes of both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths."
Great passage. I mean, it's very meaningful. Even people that aren't Christian and don't take this literally like you and I do, still find it to be a beautiful explanation of how corruption came into the world. That even if they don't think it really happened, they still see like this is a powerful story.
Yeah.
We recognize that it is a powerful story, and the reason it's super powerful is because it actually did happen. So when I was in Bible college,
here we go.
Here's my moody education.
Here we go.
Coming back. You ready?
Here we go. I'm ready.
The serpent probably looked like a dog.
Wait, what?
Probably was fluffy and cute. Probably had a tail and furry.
Okay.
Probably had legs.
Okay.
That's what they taught me at Moody.
Well, they taught you that it was probably a dog.
Well, not that it was a dog, but it probably looked something like a dog.
Like, do you remember the movie, The Never-Ending Story?
Yes, I do. It's
So,
like that.
but smaller?
But smaller. Exactly.
Bro, this is amazing that I had that, and we're on the same wavelength.
This
is good.
the serpent, according to Dr. Ben Ware, back in the day. And the reason, like,
wait. About who?
Ben Ware.
Okay, is he the one that wrote that hermeneutics book, Playing by the Rules?
No, that's Stein. He's a baller.
Oh, Stein. Okay, Ben Ware. Which one's Ware? What did he write?
No, not Ware. Ben Ware. Not Ben Ware. You're thinking Bruce Ware.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. Okay.
At least you're not thinking Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Okay. No, Dr. Ben Ware. All right. So, and I remember thinking that, and listen, I'm like a 3-year-old Christian, been reading the Bible for only 3 years. And I remember thinking like, what are you talking about? Like, this sounds so weird. And he was getting there because he was saying, well, first of all, we know that the serpent was cursed. And the part of the curse was that it was going to have to crawl on its belly. So it probably had legs, and it probably didn't crawl on its belly before then. Secondly, there's no way a creepy looking snake can roll up on a woman and be like, "Sup, girl," without freaking her out.
But this is pre-fall.
It had to look cuddly. No, it doesn't matter. Had to look cuddly.
But this is pre-fall.
No, I know. Pre-fall. And it would but that's
so pre-fall, no fear.
No, yeah, but he had fallen. So he was he couldn't be a freaky snake. I'm just telling you what the guy told me.
Okay.
Listen, it was nuts. It was crazy. So, people make so much about this. Like, oh man, why didn't she freak out? The snakes talk. Did animals talk? Was that a normal thing? And they get way into the weeds on here. In some way, shape, or form, the devil used the serpent to tempt, talk to, and lead Eve astray. Now, what's his question here to Eve?
Yeah. Did God actually say? Well, that's the question,
right?
But you shall not eat of any tree in the garden.
So that's not what God said.
No,
right? So he's twisting. He's already twisting, trying to put things in her mind, trying to get things messed up. Did God actually say you can't have any of these trees? And she's like, no, we can eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but there is one tree that we cannot eat, the one that's in the midst of the garden. Now she says this: you can't eat of it, nor can you touch it, or you'll die. What do you think about that? Some people will say, right here, Eve is now adding to the words of God, or is it much ado about nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it feels to me like there's that twisting, right? Like you mentioned, there's that twisting. And so why don't we look back to, I mean, he didn't say you can't touch it, but what would be the purpose be of touching something you can't eat?
Right. Well, I think what would be the purpose? I don't know, food fight?
Food fight?
You know, just like a friendly.
They're gonna have a fight.
You didn't say we couldn't have a food fight with a God.
Catch 22. Found my way around it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the purpose of touching it would be to eat it. I mean, I think that's I don't see Eve here as adding to God's word in some crazy way. As much as I think she is expressing her understanding, like you don't eat it, and to touch it would be to consume it. Why else would you pick the fruit?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you tell your kids, you know what? Like, don't you touch my Xbox controller.
Right.
Don't you touch it. You don't even look at it. Don't even think about it.
And the point is, like, don't jack up my Xbox.
Yeah.
Now, do you have Xbox?
I do.
Wow, I'm surprised. It's kind of ghetto. Well, because I would figure, the Fowler household would have at least the PS4, if not the PS5 right now.
Well, two of them. Yeah, but why?
Yeah, but why do you have Xbox?
That's for the garage. It's cold in there.
Did you take the Xbox from your kids?
First of all, no, I did not.
First of all, that's for your kids. It was downstairs in the basement. Do they have something to play down there?
They have their Nintendo Switch.
Okay, that's fine then.
So first of all, that was my Xbox from back in the day.
There's no such thing.
Yeah,
wait, it's the old Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How?
That thing's like 10 years old.
How can you be the guy that flies in first class?
Yeah.
First class.
Yeah, first class.
And all that, and you buy your shoes and your bags.
Yeah.
But you have a junky old system.
Because I have a JOB and I don't play all day.
That still doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you have the better gaming system?
But why? Because I don't have time to games. I don't have time to play.
Then why have any gaming system?
Yeah, just so you know, I actually I haven't played it in 6, 7
Okay,
years. I haven't played it in 5, 6 years. Hold on,
no.
5, 6 years. And so when I did finally plug it in when I wasn't feeling good, and I was hanging out in the garage for the day. Okay. Tummy ache. And I was hanging out in the garage. It took like 4 hours to do all the updates.
Yeah, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take your Xbox away, and I'm going to replace it with one of those games that you used to use on car rides that's filled with water, and you have the buttons that you push, and it makes the little hoops go up, and you have to hook them onto the rings. That's going to be your new thing because you don't play enough of games.
First of all, I already have one of those. It's awesome. In the shower.
Why are you sidetracking me with so many ridiculous things? Why would you have that in the shower?
So, because I have a steam shower, and so I like to play the game while I'm sitting in the steam thing. Okay. Close the door. Just
let's get back to this.
What? You don't do that?
No.
But you want that steam shower, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do want a steam shower. I would like it. All right. So when Eve says, "Oh, you can't touch it," we don't think she's adding to it. There's. I mean, of course, we could be wrong. She could be confused on this. But I think the point here is, what you were saying is like, well, what would be the purpose of touching it?
Unless you're going to eat it.
Yeah, like if you're not, that goes together. All right. So she says, no. This is the one fruit that we are forbidden from eating. If we eat it, we'll die. And the serpent says in verse 4, you will not die. It flat out contradicts God's word.
Yeah.
It flat out says God is a liar. God is keeping you, which, by the way,
here we go,
is the foundation of like satanic religion, that the Christian God, who doesn't exist at all, but the Christian God created by man, they would say, is all about denying you the opportunity to become the person that you should be.
So when you say satanic, now are you talking about I have to go to your realm here, right? Now, from my learnings from you,
right,
as my mentor,
okay,
as my pastor,
okay,
there's a difference between Satanism and Satanism proper?
No.
Oh, all right.
Continue. But there's a few different kinds of Satanism.
But not
Satanism proper. It's not like that.
Well, does one actually worship a physical being?
No.
Oh, then
because there is no physical being named Satan.
Oh, I don't know.
Not even in the Bible is there a physical
Okay, you
being.
teach me. Teach me.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know.
then stop trying to get
Why?
me.
Well, first of all, hold on. You would tell me that there's something in the Bible. Going to the Bible when we're talking about Satanists doesn't fly. Why the same logic? Oh, Jim, not even the Bible has a physical.
There is no physical Satan.
Okay, but I don't know what those people believe.
Okay, here's the thing. There's Satanism of the atheistic variety. There's no God. There's no devil. Satan represents the idea of adversary, and they combat religion and false religion. It's all about the emancipation of fleshly desires.
Freemasons, go.
No, but and then there is, like, you could call it theistic Satanism. These are the people that believe in the being, not bodily.
I'm still right, proper,
but not physical. Well, nobody calls it that.
Well, we have theology proper.
The Christians have theology proper. So
see,
so they worship a being called the devil, and even and those people, like, that are of the really kind of nutty variety, they would, like, say, they say, look, it's kind of like when they interpreted the Karate Kid to show that Johnny was the good guy and Ralph Macchio's character was the bad guy. Remember that old YouTube video? I know, we've talked about it. I know. So kind of like that. But the difference,
now that we were watching Cobra Kai, I really think that was onto something.
I do think that.
How would you feel that you're hanging out with your friends, playing around, riding your bikes, your little dirt bikes, and you see some guy hitting on your girl?
They were just playing.
Oh,
yeah, they were playing soccer.
They were just playing,
and Johnny was the one who was getting physical with the girl.
Defending?
Nope.
With the girl?
Yep. Getting physical.
Not
like pulling away the boombox in her hands, not letting her walk away. You got physical.
Banter.
No.
Sometimes.
Battery. That's the difference. All right. So, hey guys, Pastor Joe here. Now, if you're a listener of the podcast, you know how much Jimmy and I love Bible study tools and resources. Anything that helps us to unpack and understand and apply the Word of God. And throughout my life, I have benefited from a couple of very good study Bibles, which is why we are really excited that Doctrine and Devotion is sponsored by InterVarsity Press and the Bible Speaks Today study Bible. This new study Bible takes the highlights of the popular and beloved 55-volume commentary series, The Bible Speaks Today, and puts it into one study Bible, with commentary from popular English pastor theologians and edited by John Stott and Alec Mottier. This is a study Bible you should definitely pick up. Now, IVP is offering a special deal just for the listeners of Doctrine and Devotion. If you go to IVP's website, that's ivpress.com, and use the code BIBLE30, all one word, you'll get 30% off and free shipping. So that's IVPress, IVPRESS.com, and use the code BIBLE30. You'll get 30% off and free shipping of the Bible Speaks Today study Bible. So the devil is contradicting what God says outright. He says,
and I can't get. I'm really excited for the new season 3. I'm sorry.
We're
really
going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
All right.
In another episode. So, in fact, he says, no, God knows when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now, the devil, of course, isn't altogether wrong here, right? They will know the difference between good and evil in a completely different way when they do this.
But experiential way.
Right. And he's tempting her, luring her, appealing to her sense of pride, to go beyond the bounds of God. And how does she respond here, Jimmy? In verse 6.
Verse 6. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was delight to the eyes, and the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate and gave some to her husband, who was with her.
So it looked good. It was going to taste good. That's how we know it probably wasn't an apple. And
but the most thing was to be desired to make one wise.
Yeah, that's big, because I think even Bedham in his exposition of this, listen to a couple of these questions, right? Was there in this sin the lust of the flesh? Genesis 3:6. She saw that the tree was good for food, lust of the flesh, satisfying
the
worldly desires.
Yep.
And the lust of the eye, she saw that it was pleasant to the eyes. And the pride of life, which is what you're talking about. Yes, for she saw that it was a tree to be desired to make one wise. So there is this temptation that is pulling her towards evil, particularly in the form of pride, which is why a lot of theologians would argue that the very first sin was, in fact, pride. All right, so
do you think that's why? I mean, I've heard people talk about in reference to this to like the 10 Commandments, right? The first one being, "You shall have no other gods before me."
Right.
Okay, because that sense of pride, ego, placing oneself above the authority of God.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. That basically all sin can be traced back to pride, and figuring out how that.
Was that Luther?
Well, I'm sure Luther said it, but I don't know of it. I don't know of a quote.
Okay, all right. Sorry, go ahead.
But I mean, people have said it for centuries, and what helps me, like, and the example that I use is with anger. It was a lot easier for me to begin to deal with my anger issues when I could trace my anger to pride, like directly to go like, okay, so I'm angry here. What's making me angry? What's triggering me? Okay, so this is the situation. Now, what is it about the situation that's making me respond in an ungodly way? And ultimately, it came down to pride. Like I was being inconvenienced, or I was offended at what somebody else was doing that didn't even.
I've not received the status that I deserve.
Whatever.
The respect. Yeah.
And it's like pride, I do think, is essentially at the root of all sins. If you can trace it back, I think it really does become helpful for us in fighting or combating our particular sins. So yeah, she saw that it was going to be awesome for her, at least so she believed. And she took the fruit and she ate it. And it just kind of says, so she took its fruit and she ate, and then she gave some to her husband. Kind of glosses over that pretty quick.
Yeah. So not only did she succumb, but then she shared, right? So she succumbed to her sin, but misery loves company.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be alone in the midst of, you want your ride or die with you. And so, shared it with him and he succumbed. Like he himself partook. I mean, I would also say he sinned in not stopping.
There's a lot going on here, and I think it's dangerous to make too much of what should have happened or could have happened or could have been said in between, or reading all the motives into this.
No, I'm gonna read in a lot of my own.
You like to do that?
I like to do that. So like when I read this, I see that how could she not be afraid of the serpent, and that he would crawl on his belly. So he had to have 4 legs, probably be fluffy and furry,
because the ladies like
and look really good.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Never Ending Story?
Yeah, that white dog snake flying thing.
That thing, smaller.
Okay, smaller. I think that's probably what it looked like. So yeah, but I do think there is a lot here, right? There's a lot going on that we don't. I wish we had more detail. I wish God expanded this story. But the point of all of this is really to get us to the stakes and the consequences. Like they both disobeyed God. Yes, it began with Eve, but Adam, as the representative head, is the one who's talked about most throughout Scripture, because when he sinned, we all sinned. They both brought sin into the world, but he was the one that represented us and ultimately broke that covenant of works, which has brought condemnation to all.
So do we want to talk about probationary period? Do we want to talk about the temptation of Adam, the first Adam, and the temptation of the second Adam?
Well, we're going to get into that, actually.
Okay.
Headship and all of that.
Okay.
In question 19.
Oh, all right. I haven't looked ahead.
But let's touch on this, and we'll wrap this up with people. It says, then the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths. So they were already naked.
Yeah.
They were naked, running around naked.
And happy.
All the time. Happy and naked.
Bliss.
Yeah. Blissfully nude.
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been blissfully nude. My nudity, I only associate with shame.
I remember going to a nude beach once as a kid.
This just hit wrong on 2 different levels. All right. So hang on. Let me.
All right.
So wait, first of all, you went to a nude beach.
Yes. Now it was against my will.
That's another level of awfulness here.
All right. So we're in Hawaii.
Okay.
Right? and family vacation.
All right.
And so the locals had talked about this one really beautiful, like, cove. You know, like they say it's just
grotto.
It's gorgeous. It's nice. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
You have to go. You have to go. Ilona and Lanikia. Those were the guys. Those were our friends there, and they lived there.
Okay.
And so we make this trek to go.
Uh-huh.
And as we're walking, it's like, people are walking back, this trail, and they ain't got no clothes on.
Like totally naked?
Totally
like,
naked.
Oh
Maybe they got the towel around their shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's in sandals. And I'm like, And so, like, Ilona and Lanikia are getting mad, because they're like, how dare these, well, in this case, it was
Wait, they're locals and they don't know about this?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Because, you know how white people are. Just kind of go do your thing and just take over and have no respect for others. That's what they were doing.
Wait.
These guys are they're Hawaiians, Ilona and Lanikia. If you couldn't tell by the name.
Yeah, okay. I got confused.
So they're Hawaiians, and so we're going.
So this is like a white beach.
Well, it's not supposed to be, but there was a lot of white people.
So it kind of casually turned into
into it. So we're sitting there, and we're like, I kind of want to go back. I can't remember how. I might have been 12.
You want to leave?
I want to leave. I'm like, I kind of want to go. And Ilona and Lanikia are like, we should probably go. My dad's like, I kind of want to see this thing because if it's that beautiful, it'd be great. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went, and it's not as enjoyable being dressed and trying to get in the water, and old men and women are all around.
Yeah, flopping around.
They're just around, and I'm like,
they're flopping if they're naked.
We're there for like 20 minutes, and it was super uncomfortable. I'm like, Dad, this is just
this is why you're damaged goods, man. This is why you're messed up. It's one of the reasons.
First of all, one of the reasons. It's what I've got a lot of experiences that let's not even get into Uncle Tommy Ray, the junkyard dog.
I won't.
We won't even talk about Uncle
that
Tommy
for another episode. So what's the big deal here? Why are they naked? Like, who cares? Like, why would they cover up their naked? If before sin entered the world, they could be naked and it wasn't a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it now a problem that they're naked now that sin is in the world if there's nothing inherently wrong with being naked?
Yeah, I mean, part of it I look at as this almost symbolic sense of transparency, right?
Yeah.
Like, I am exposed. And I must hide, quote unquote, my shame.
Yeah.
Even in the sense that later on, they hear God walking in the garden and they hide themselves from him. Right.
And we do that in life.
Yep.
Like if we're ashamed or embarrassed, we put on airs, we pretend that we're something that we're not.
Yeah, we
try to
posture
hide.
quite often. Yep.
Yeah. Peacocking. That's what Jimmy likes to do, everybody.
First of all, I peacock and I posture.
He's the posturing peacock.
It's two different things.
But only when you're trying to close a deal. I know they're two different things.
Okay, I just want to make
that's
sure.
That's why I said you're the posturing peacock.
Yeah, one is like flamboyancy.
Peacock is,
flamboyant, and posturing is
role, authority.
I don't want you to know what I.
Oh yeah.
I don't want you to know that I want that thing that you're withholding from me.
So I do think there is a metaphorical or symbolic or some sort of I don't know what to say, but I do think that there's an implication there for how we try to hide ourselves and our sins because of our internal guilt. But I also think there's a sense in which they could deal with their nakedness without shame before because there was no temptation. There was no lust. There was no corruption is now in the world. And now they don't know how to handle their own bodies because this corruption has now corrupted their minds and their hearts and the way that they think about people and their bodies and everything else. So I think that they're hiding themselves not only because they have sinned, but because they can't even deal with who they actually are. They can't even deal with actual nudity without things being so corrupted in the way that they would look at one another and judge one another or assess one another. There's a lot going on there. But the Catechism's point here is to establish that there was one particular command that was specifically broken, which brought sin misery into the world. It was the prohibition from eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the forbidden fruit. Adam and Eve ate that, and that's what brought misery and ruin. You read about it in Genesis 3. It is the essential answer to why is everything broken, because it starts there. Now, as we go through this, we're going to learn more and more about it, particularly as we get into Adam's headship. But for now, we can just talk about this. We can talk about on social media. You can get on social media and you can start talking about Jimmy's experience at that Hawaiian beach. Jimmy, if they want to talk about your experience at the Hawaiian beach.
You want to know the sad part? Years later from our honeymoon, I took Michelle to that beach. I was like, you got to go, because it was beautiful. Thankfully, it was no longer nude.
Oh.
So, anyways, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You can follow us online on Instagram and Twitter at Doc and Devo, or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website, doctrinedevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast or hit up the store, jofostore.com, and grab some gear. Fresh pod every Monday and Thursday. Over on the website, we got blog posts and some video content. Later.
Hakuna Matata.
What? That's a wrong. What?
That's Hawaiian. Hakuna Matata.
Oh my goodness.
That's a Hawaiian thing.